thank you for coming today and your interest in Barking Mad. We've been involved in the franchising industry for the last 12 years, and Fiona's working in our concept van, just taken off.
Brilliantly.
Yeah, we just can't quite believe how quickly it's taken off, and of course there's so much repeat business that you don't need that many customers before you're really quite busy. Team, we are a big team at Barking Mad. We are a very big company now, and it would be good for us just to share with you kind of the benefits of that. What I discovered when I did all of my research, and I think we've all been really surprised at this, is lots of groomers aren't qualified. So they come into the grooming industry, maybe having groomed their own dogs, and think, oh, that'd be really good, I'll just set up and do that in the kitchen. And because of that, the grooming industry over the years has had a very varied reputation. So you've got the top end of the market where dogs are show dogs and people groom their own dogs to a really, really superbly high standard, right the way down to people who've just set up and are doing a bit of grooming in their back kitchen. It's quite interesting when you go through the Sitting Girls qualification how much you do learn in that relatively short period of time, and I think you leave having groomed about 50 dogs, so it's very intense. There's a lot to learn, a lot to take in, and I think it will probably be fair to say as soon as you've got your qualification, that's the point at which you really start learning to groom. It's a bit like, there isn't anything in the market like Barking Mad. And the reason for that is we expect everybody to want to be qualified, and the people we want to work with kind of themselves want to have that qualification. Our vans are superb. They are different to anything out there in the marketplace for 3 reasons. Firstly, they're not white. I didn't want to drive around in a white van particularly. I wanted us to stand out from the crowd. The second thing was we wanted to have a really good kind of branding and a really create a really special environment for the dogs to go in. So taking them from home and taking them into a van is great, but also I wanted the customers to walk in and go, wow, this looks fabulous. This looks like a stylish salon where I might go. And the third thing is we wanted it to be a really ergonomic environment for the people who are actually working and grooming dogs in there. You spend an awful lot of time in your van, I think it's fair to say, isn't it, ladies? So
you do.
So you want it to be really, really comfortable and really enjoyable. And I think some of the hurdles groomers were coming up against were simple things like, it was too warm in the summer and too cold in the winter, tons of condensation, not very easy to keep clean, lots of things started to rot and go mouldy, and even just down to washing towels, that was kind of another avenue that we looked into and thought, do we really want to be washing towels at the end of the day? We've been busy, we've been out grooming. So we've addressed all of these kind of individual parts of the grooming industry, and I suppose from a franchising point of view, I'm good with that now. I've had the last 12 years experience. I am a really good franchisor. We support our franchisees really well, and certainly Heidi and Fiona, we've just had lots of hands-on experience of actually grooming dogs in the van. How can we make it better? What would work better for you and for the dog? How would it be easier for you to be able to work in this environment? And the easier it is, the more dogs you can groom, and clearly the more dogs you can groom, the more money you're going to make. But because we're the only franchise business who expect and want their franchisees to have a Sitting Girls qualification, we've had lots of coverage in magazines. Do you read any of the grooming magazines? Have you had a chance to pick any of them up? No. Well, it's a very industry-led magazine. You wouldn't particularly go out and buy that magazine. You would subscribe to it. Well, within the industry, we've had tons of interest. We've had loads and loads of free publicity.